very effective enforcement right away by just finding your suit and going in and get a TRO. You can get immediate seizure. You can have, as the lawyers say, quick discovery. And you can march right down the line as she was indicating, and Mark was indicating that you want that discovery. Well, you can get it effectively immediately. There are these rules and procedure. We are compliant with it, and I think that you, in the practice, will enjoy it. There's just a couple more thoughts, and we should close. You lawyers are not like the lawyers overseas. You have the American ingenuity. You know how to go in and get a proper enforcement. It was an American law firm who was in China that shut down the major counterfeiting markets. They couldn't do it on the streets, so what they do? They went in and got landlord liability. It started over there in China. They shut down these massive buildings where our pirates were in counterfeiters. And when I learned about that, I said, why don't you guys do it elsewhere? They moved down to Hong Kong. And I said, no, I meant the U.S. And they're also doing it in the U.S. as well. So the courts, never look at the courts as being the failure. We look at you because all the courts are reactionaries. We react to whatever you bring to the court, criminally or civilly, and we apply the law. We have very effective laws, and I could say, just use it. In closing, I would just like to point out, there's some looming problems. One of which, we talked about these wonderful things, but these companies, small companies that are privateers, they shut down on you once you get judgment. And you may not have selective enforcement civilly because they start playing games with you. I have several of these cases. They start hiding the money. But then again, if you can get over to the other side and get it criminally filed, it's no longer the cost of doing business. Get the conviction. Lastly, in closing, get the public education out there. Let the people know how important this entire topic is, because if you take away the desire of the people to want counterfeits, you will minimize this. And recognizing the problem, Congress will react as well. But I have spoken on this topic a lot, and I'm glad that Mark picked up a phrase that I coined several times in my speeches, and I say, give those counterfeiters no quarters. And when I heard him say that, I loved it. Coin that phrase. Give those counterfeiters and pirates no quarter. Use the full measure of your civil remedy and criminal remedy, and I think somewhere along the line we'll have effective enforcement. But if not that, at least we would have knocked them off their game. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Judge Liu, for that great perspective from the bench, as well as the insights into what's happening in China. And obviously, any coined phrase that involves a quarter has to be an accurate one. A little pun there to keep life going. I'm just going to... There we go. In terms of timing, in case those of you are looking at your watches, we are going to have some time for question and answers at the end, in part because we'll be going through until about 5:10 in order to ensure that we do meet 3-hour CLE guidelines for all states. So there will be some time to ask the panelist questions at the end. Before that, we're going to take a look at a bit of a different lens through intellectual property issues and some of the international issues that we've been looking at, not just from the domestic and international litigation perspective, but from the trade perspective through the eyes of Rachel Bay, who is Director for Intellectual Property and Innovation at the Office of the U.S. Trade Representative. Rachel was formerly served as an attorney advisor with the USPTO and U.S. Customs and Border Protection, where she received a World Customs Organization Award for meritorious service in U.S. Customs Administration.